An alien message. This was channeled. This transmission allegedly came to a man by the name of Gene Ederman, aka Eric Julian. From here on out, we will call and refer to him as Eric. Eric's story: he claims to have been a military jet pilot, air traffic controller, and airport manager, holds a master's degree in economics. He states that since the age of 6, he has been having experiences with ETs and UFOs. He has published a book called The Science of Extraterrestrials in the year 2006. Look for that. Let's see. The style of the message. There are a few keynotes to look at when exploring the channeled message. Style of the message is deliberate and with purpose. It is not dictative nor condescending. The message. Let's go straight to the message. We are not mere observations. We are consciousness just like you. Our existence is a reality, but the majority of you do not perceive it yet because we remain invisible to your senses and instruments most of the time. We wish to fill this void at this moment in your history. We made this collective decision on our side, but this is not enough. We need yours as well. A great roller wave is on the horizon. It entails very positive but also very negative potentials. At this time, wonderful opportunities of progress stand side by side with threats of destruction. We are sad to see men, women, and children suffering to such a degree in their flesh and in their hearts when they bear such an inner light. This light can be your future. Our relationships could develop in stages. Several stages of several years or decades would occur. Demonstrative appearance of our ships, physical appearance beside human beings, collaboration in your technical and spiritual evolution, discovery of parts of the galaxy. Who are we? Like billions of others in this galaxy, we are conscious creatures that some call extraterrestrials, even though the reality is subtler. There is no fundamental difference between you and us, save for having experienced certain stages of evolution. As with any other organized society, a hierarchy exists in our internal relationships. Ours, however, is based on the wisdom of several races. It is with the approval of this hierarchy that we turn to you. Like most of you, we are in quest of the supreme being or state of being. Therefore, we are not gods or lesser gods, but virtually your equals in the cosmic brotherhood. Physically, we are somewhat different from you, but most of us are humanoid-shaped. We are not mere observations, but we are consciousness like you. Our existence is a reality, but the majority of you do not perceive it. Through this message, you can become the decision makers. You, personally, we have no human representative on Earth who could guide your decision. Why aren't we visible? At certain stages of evolution, cosmic humanities discover certain scientific principles regarding matter. Structured dematerialization and materialization are among them. Your humanity has achieved this in a few laboratories in close collaboration with other extraterrestrial creatures, at the cost of hazardous compromises that remain purposely hidden from you by some of your representatives. In addition to the aerial or space-based objects or phenomena known as physical UFOs, there are essentially multi-dimensional manufactured spaceships that possess these expanded capacities. Many human beings have been in visual, auditory, tactile, or physical contact with such ships, and some of which, it should be noted with caution, are under the influence of hidden powers that govern you, which we often term the third party. Let's see, influence of the hidden powers that govern you, the third party. They're referring to the Illuminati and New World Order as the third party. Wow. The relative scarcity of your observations is due to the dematerialized state of these ships being unable to perceive them yourselves. You cannot acknowledge their existence. We fully understand this. When most observations do occur, they are arranged on an individual basis so as to touch the individual soul and not to influence or intrude on any organized social system. This is deliberate on the part of the various races that surround you, but for a variety of reasons and results for negative multidimensional beings that play a part in the exercise of power in the shadow of human oligarchy, discretion is motivated by their desire to keep their existence unknown. For us, discretion has been motivated by the respect of the human free will that people can exercise to manage their own affairs so that they can reach technical and spiritual maturity on their own. However, mankind's entrance into the family of galactic civilizations is greatly expected. We can appear in a broad daylight to help you attain this union, but we have not done it so far, as too few of you have genuinely desired it because of your ignorance, indifference, or fear, and because the urgency of the situation did not justify it. Who are you? You are the offspring of many traditions that throughout time have been mutually enriched by each other's contributions. Your goal is to unite while respecting these diverse roots to accomplish a common purpose, a united project. The appearances of your cultures to help keep you separated because you give them far greater importance than you give your deeper beings. Shape or form has been deemed more important than the essence of your subtle nature. For the powers in control, this emphasis on differences of form constitutes a bulwark against any form of positive change. Now you are being called on to overcome the identification with form while still respecting it for its richness and beauty, understanding that consciousness from behind form allows us to love all humans in their diversity. Peace does not mean simply not making war. It consists in becoming what you collectively are in reality, a fraternity. The solutions available to achieve this are decreasing, but one that could still catalyze it would be open contact with another race that would reflect the image of what you are in a deeper reality. Except for rare occasions, our past interventions intentionally had very little influence on your capacity to make collective and individual decisions about your own future. This was motivated by our knowledge of your deep psychological mechanisms. We reached the conclusion that freedom is built every day as a being becomes aware of himself and his environment, getting progressively rid of constraints and inertias, whatever they may be. However, despite the actions of numerous brave and willing human souls, these inertias have been successfully maintained for the benefit of a growing centralized power. Again, he's referring to a world order. He or she. What is your situation? Until recently, mankind lived in satisfactory control of its decisions. But it is losing more and more control of its own fate, partly because of the growing use of advanced technologies that affect your body as well as your mind and will eventually have irreversibly lethal consequences for earthly and human ecosystems. Independently of your own will, your resilience and artificially decrease you and slowly but surely lose your extraordinary capacity to make life desirable. Such plans are on their way. Should a collective reaction of a great magnitude not happen, this individual power is doomed to vanish. The period to come shall be one of rupture. This break, however, can be a positive break with the past as long as you keep this creative power alive within you, even if it cohabits for a long time being with the dark intentions of your potential lords. What now? Should you wait for the last moment to find solutions? Should you anticipate or undergo pain? Your history has never ceased to be marked with encounters between peoples whose discovery of one another occurred in circumstances of conflict and conquest. Earth has now become a village where everyone knows everyone else, but still conflicts and persist, and threats of all kinds get worse with intensity and duration. Individuals who have many potential capacities cannot exercise them with dignity. This is the case for the greatest majority of you for reasons that are essentially geopolitical. There are several billion of you, but the education of your children and of your living conditions, as well as the conditions of numerous animals and such plant life, are under the thumb of a small number of your political, financial, military, and religious representatives. Your thoughts and beliefs are modeled after partisan interests, while at the same time giving you the feeling that you are in total control of your destiny, which in essence is the reality, but there is a long way between a wish and a fact when true rules of the game at hand are kept hidden. This time you are not the conqueror. Spreading biased information is an effective strategy for manipulating human beings. Inducing thoughts and emotions, or even creating organisms that do not belong to you is an even older strategy. A great roller wave is on the horizon. It entails very positive but also negative potentials. At this time, wonderful opportunities of progress stand side by side with threats of destruction. However, you can only perceive what is being shown to you. The scarcity of resources whose entry price will rise day after day and their unfair distribution will bring about fratricidal riots on a large scale from the hearts of your cities to your countrysides. This is the reason why, even more in your history, your decisions of today will directly and significantly impact your survival tomorrow. Hatred grows, but so does love. This is what keeps you confident in your ability to find solutions. These putative servants of the people are far more debating the form than the content. Just at the moment of action, delays accumulate to the point when you have to submit rather than choose. This inertia is in many ways typical of any civilization. What event could radically modify it? Where could a collective and unifying awareness come from that will stop this blind rushing ahead? Tribes, populations, and human nations have always encountered and interacted with one another. Faced with the threats weighing upon the human family, it is perhaps time that a greater interaction occurred. There are two ways to establish a cosmic contact with another civilization: via its standing representatives or directly with ordinary individuals. The first entails fights of interest. The second way brings awareness. The first way was chosen by a group of races motivated to keep mankind in slavery, thereby controlling Earth's resources, its gene pool, and mass of human emotional energy. The second way was chosen by a group of races allied with the cause of the spirit of service. Some years ago, we did introduce ourselves to representatives of the human power structure, but they refused our outstretched hand on the basis of interests that were incompatible with their strategic vision. That is why individuals are to make this choice by themselves without any representatives interfering. What we proposed in the past to those whom we believed were in capacity to contribute to your happiness, we propose now to you. Few of you are aware that non-human creatures have been involved in the centralizing of power in your world and the subtle taking of control. These creatures are not necessarily standing on your material plane, which is precisely what could make them extremely efficient and frightening in the near future. See, he said plain mundane. However, also be aware that quite a few of your representatives are in fact fighting this danger, that not all alien abductions are conducted to your detriment, and that the resistance also exists among those dominance-oriented races. Peace and reunification of your peoples would be the first step towards harmony with civilizations other than yours. That is precisely what those who manipulate you behind the scenes want to avoid at all costs, because by dividing they reign. They also reign over those who more visibly govern you. Their strength comes from their capacity to instill mistrust and fear. This considerably harms your very cosmic nature. What can we offer? We can offer you a more holistic vision of the universe and of life, constructive interactions, and experience of fair and fraternal relationships, liberating technical knowledge, eradication of suffering, controlling exercise of individual powers, access to forms of energy, and finally a better comprehension of consciousness. We cannot help you overcome your individual and collective fears or bring you laws that you would not have chosen. You must also work on your own selves and apply individual and collective efforts to build the world you desire and manifest the spirit to quest for new skies. What would we receive? Should you decide that such a contact take place, we would rejoice over the safeguarding of the fraternal equilibrium in this region of the universe, fruitful diplomatic exchanges, and the intense joy of knowing that you are united to accomplish what you are capable of. The feeling of joy is strongly sought in the universe, for its energy is divine. What is the question we ask you? Do you wish that we show up? How can you answer this question? The truth of the soul can be read telepathically. So you only need to clearly ask yourself this question and give your answer as clearly on your own or in a group as you wish. Being in the heart of a city or in the middle of a desert does not impact the efficiency of your answer, yes or no. What is the lever effect? This decision should be made by the greatest possible number among you, even though it might seem like a minority. I think we call it the 100th monkey. It is recommended that you to spread this message in all invisible fashions, in as many languages as possible, to those around you, whether or not they seem to be receptive to this new vision of the future or not. Do it using humorous tone or decision, if that can help you, or derision. You can even openly and publicly make fun of it if it makes you feel more comfortable, but do not be indifferent, for at least you will have exercised your free will. Forget about the false prophets and the beliefs that there have been transmitted to you about us. What would be the consequences of a positive decision? For us, the immediate consequence of a collective favorable decision would be the materialization of many ships in your sky and on Earth. For you, the direct effect would be the rapid abandoning of many certitudes and beliefs. A simple, conclusive visual contact would have huge repercussions for your future. Much knowledge would be modified forever. Let's see, I'm going to think there, folks. You know, people talk about the fake alien invasion and that the New World Order already has hologram technology, anti-gravity technology, ships like the Triangle, the TR-3B, whose shell can be disguised, you know. They can turn it into a giant floating cockroach if they want to. It's just like a fiberglass body, like a Corvette body they can put over it and make it into anything. Or would these be actual beings from another dimension that live in the same space we do in a different density and vibration? Or are there both, and the powers that should not be are trying to keep the others from not being believed, and the others are not trying to influence our decisions and laws? Either way, it's very confusing. We have to figure this out. I lived in Chile last year, and I was in Santiago, and this restaurant manager where I performed, Jorge, he told me some stories about urban legends and stories among the Chilean people in the south. They have these beings that look more like the Nordics. They're beautiful human people. They're not bug-eyed aliens, but they come, and some people that are in pain or have diseases, they've taken them in their ships to places where they've healed them. In some cases it's in a day, some cases it's they touch them and it's immediate. And at other times the person, I think, was gone for 3 weeks or 2 months and came back. I don't remember the details, but the Chileans have several stories of this benevolent race of beautiful beings that abduct people and heal them, and they don't like to see humans in pain, and they want us to figure it out so that we don't have to live in pain. But we've got our pharmaceutical industries, don't we? So I would suggest you go and read this article. I'm going to put the links below. I'm not going to read any more of it. It goes on for quite a long time. At the end it says, you are still the architects of your own fate. Do you wish that we show up? Remember, use your intuition to connect and feel out this message and what it means for you. I will end with, blind acceptance is just as unhelpful as blind skepticism. Yeah, what's that quote? All that people need to do to contribute to a bad outcome is not participate or remain silent. All right, folks, thank you for coming to Plain Mundane Show. I'm Alex Aquarius. Please hit like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Ciao.